Hey, people, Deluded, I'm back again. Thank you very much for tuning back in each and every time. Large up the Twitch gang. I hope everyone's doing well and safe. I hope everyone's in good spirits. And yeah, man, people, Deluded, I'm back again. Thank you very much for tuning back in. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and of course, in some cases, good night. I appreciate all the support you guys give me. With it being Thursday, I hope everyone's having a progressive week in their private, personal, and professional lives. Health is wealth. I hope you and your loved ones continue to stay healthy and, better health, in fact, because you can never be too healthy and that. So, yeah, man, I appreciate you lot tuned in. It's a jam-packed day of content today, people. Obviously, we're on Twitch now till whenever. 11:30, we bring in our cousins over on YouTube and still remain on Twitch from 11:30 till whenever. Then, obviously, later today, I believe, Chelsea versus Man United, and we're going to talk about it. Kickoff is 7:45. I'll be live from 10 past, half an hour before kickoff. So 7:10, I'll be live. So yeah, content, and you'll see some little clips and all these things on YouTube. And I know you ain't seen all of the streams on Twitch and YouTube. So the content never stops. Now, there isn't too much to talk about. There is a lot to talk about. Now, Liverpool versus Villarreal. If I kick it off there, people, let me know your thoughts. Was it the most exciting game? No. If I'm Liverpool and I know Villarreal didn't win, I don't like exciting. Exciting's only fun when your team's not involved. Could you imagine how Carlo and Pep must have felt? Liverpool are on the verge of doing something amazing. In fact, that's a wrong way. What they've done is amazing. What they've done since Klopp has taken over and whatnot, they're doing bits in it. Liverpool, fantastic club on the best of days, fantastic project, fantastic gaffer. Everything's happening in it. Yesterday was kind of dead. Villarreal were a bit one-sided. It's a bit like Danny saying, obviously, let's refrain from using the word terrorists and all of these sort of things. But for want of better words, you're right, man. Like, when it comes to defensive football and things, I don't like necessarily when people sit there and say, "Oh, it's negative, it's boring, it's stale, it's not trying to win games." Now, that's not what I'm a Wenger baby. I'm an Arsenal man. I completely disagree with that being classed as football. But football is subjective. Just because it doesn't align in what we want doesn't mean it's not beautiful and poetic and things. But away from all of that neutral stuff, it's dead. For me, I think people look at Emre with rose tints. Like, don't get it twisted. Unai Emre's a certified manager. He's done it. In it, he's managed big teams, he's managed big leagues, he's won trophies, he's doing his thing. I just think people look at him with rose tints. Like, obviously, I know I already told you, look, the other day we done a live stream and I said I'm not following Villarreal religiously, but I know they're not top of the league anymore because nobody is using Unai Emre's name to get onto Arteta. Nobody, they're doing bits. They've got to the semi-finals of the Champions League, dumping out Bayern Munich, dumping out Juventus, still in with impossible task against Liverpool, but still technically 90 minutes to go. But they're seventh. They finished 7th last year. They're 7th right now. That's what Emre was on. We don't want that. And for Simeone, he's won a couple of trophies, but 9 times out of 10, it's boring, it's defeative. And for me, it is structured. It does require, like someone in Liverpool's case, to break them down, to probably get a bit frustrated, to be, a bit calm, and it does provoke emotion, but there's no plan B. Once that, and the whole point is to not defend. They were compact, they were narrow, 11 men behind the ball, 10 outfield players in their own half, 11. But once you concede that first, and granted, your task isn't made much easier when you've got that sick excuse of a goalie really in there, It has no plan B. Now, obviously, Villarreal held firm and whatnot, and then Liverpool tore them open. Obviously, Henderson with the Liverpool's Twitter account is shameless. It credited to Henderson, but that deflected cross has been put down as an own goal. Mane obviously got the second, which was fantastic play. Liverpool, fantastic club. Respectfully though, Liverpool, Thiago, man, it's boring talking about Thiago because on one hand, amazing footballers. I can't be amazed when they do amazing things, but the man's a baller in this day and age where midfielders are rated for certain midfielders can scum up the play, score a goal, and it's all done. And all of that. The man's a baller in it. Thiago, the pass accuracy, the range of passing. For me, I can't even describe it, but the thing I like the most about Thiago is, I can't lie, it's not quite as good as Santi, the skill move. But when he does them little turns and body feints to evade, to make space and evade a man, like them things there are lit. Trent was lit. I think Robertson had a good game from start to finish. I did enjoy the movement from the front men. Listen, Diaz he's the perfect blend of these new age wingers for me. I feel a lot of these wingers about now, they're quite dead. Like Diaz is a bit of he obviously gets numbers and he's going to have to stop hugging the touchline less as he wants to score, but he's a bad boy footballer, isn't it? Like I have to rate Liverpool because wasn't he not nailed on before Liverpool got involved to go to Spurs? If he went to Spurs, there'd have been problems. The man's a baller, bare skills and that. It's crazy. Obviously, the game in terms of entertainment was dead. Liverpool fans won't care. They've got 2 goals, a clean sheet, and that's a fairly healthy cushion going into Villarreal. For the fighting, I think Capoue was neat on the ball from a Villarreal perspective. From a Villarreal perspective, a lot of talk. Didn't really see much, really. Like, I like Paul Torres, but he's not really rugged enough, and it was quite a mismatch seeing Van Dijk and Konate up against him and Foyth. Foyth going into midfield and that Foyth got ripped. I can't lie, there was a couple of skillers like second half, Lo Celso ripped someone from a Liverpool perspective. Could have been Salah, it could have been Trent. Someone's flag got ripped, but apart from that, standard procedures, isn't it really? And again, you got to be, obviously, Manchester City versus Real Madrid is still far from decided. Liverpool, again, it's done in it, but you got to be respectful. It's not done. So yeah, we're probably going to see an all English final. But saying that, you can't write off Real Madrid. It was a good game, really and truly. So it is what it is, man. Liverpool coming for all 4. It's brazy, man. Do you know what it is? I'm not saying you, but this is why I hate English media, because they were calling Thiago a flop, and there were times he was looking rubbed. He had a big injury, and the guys that were calling him a flop, they're the ones that are going to be gassing him the most, not the guys that are saying, "Oh, Thiago could do better," and now he's doing better. That's what I hate about England. Like, these guys will be the guys that are the most vocal in criticizing certain players. They'll be, pardon my language, sucking them off. Pause. It's quite jarring, really and truly. Emery's a good manager, man. He's just not with the attacking thing, bro. Like, I mean, yeah, exactly. If the game's open, it's peak for them. And at the end of the day, Emery can be as defensive as he wants, bro. Like, you're going out of the competition. The beautiful thing is, whether you play expansive football, negative football, whatever, bro, you still got to score goals or you're not going to win. It's as simple as that. So you're right, man. Especially as expected, Villarreal's stadium is quite small, it's quite compact. They're going to need the 12th man. It becomes an open game. They can see the Ties probably lost about 5-1. I think they will get a goal in Spain, a charity goal, something for the fans, them, and that's about it, man. Emery's 30. You see, if you're a journeyman or you're not really a big name, Emery can do a thing. Emery's got to the semi-finals for Villarreal, that they've got a smaller wage budget, I think, than Burnley. They've done, obviously, getting to the semi-finals is not winning, and Emery's won stuff in it, but they're doing a madness. They can look back with pride. Liverpool's just a bit, it's too strong in it. You took out Juventus and Allegri and that. You took out Nagusman for all the hype he gets. Klopp's, one day in the future, maybe they back Liverpool and fortunes change, but it's a step too big, isn't it, really and truly? Simple as that, man. People are too fast to call man flop, bro. Especially after the first 6 months, they call people flop. But it's not even just an English thing. Luka Modric. I say the name Luka Modric. You all know what it is. There was a time 2012 or something like that, he was voted worst signing in Spain. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. And that's the thing about Premier League. Premier League fans, because everything is fast, now, money. They don't understand adaptation periods and things. And do you know what I think is the funniest thing about Thiago? Yeah, it's not even the fact that people were calling him a flop. Remember the thing I looked at, and I used to fight fans that, like, I used to, again, some of you remember on YouTube, because I think we were on Twitch them times, but we was doing this on on thingy. I remember arguing with certain fans, actually a Liverpool man and other fans. They were like, "Oh, Thiago can't play the football that Liverpool the high pressing and things." I was like, "Listen, I'm not being funny, but look at the numbers. Like again, I don't know why, but I had access to his pressing metrics at Bayern Munich and things. It's like they're kind of identical. Who was it to? I can't remember the player at Liverpool, but it was a different position. It was one of the forwards, but they were more or less identical. Now you can't just go on numbers, but there's that. And I said, listen, if a man can play at Bayern Munich, I'm not being funny. He can do this pressing thing. Like he can do this pressing thing. And at the end of the day, you know, Thiago's a footballer. If he can't do the pressing thing, you switch it up a bit for a guy like him, really and truly. So I think that's the funniest thing. Not a word is being said about Thiago. He's not gonna be able to deal with the intensity of how Jurgen got plays. Obviously, it's high demanding, it's high intensity. But man, I'm talking like Klopp is asking you to, you know, to do bleep tests 30 million times a day and all of those things. It's not just a running thing. Like and arguably City is not too much different from Liverpool. There's more of an emphasis on running at Liverpool, but there's hella running and meters and shit like that at City. Both of them teams do not get enough credit for how they are defensively. I'm not saying neither team's gonna be pictured as the greatest defensive team in the world, but how both teams defend, and I'm not talking about just defenders defending, how they manage games, how they waste time, how they kill tempos, how they manage the games. These sort of things are lit, man. Next season, once Diaz and Kanate as well. I like Kanate. Obviously, he's still young. He has a bit of youthful, naive moments and that, but he's calm. The only one I feel sorry for at Liverpool is Joe Gomez. Can't buy a game. And I wouldn't want to leave Liverpool, but you know, you're 24. You're not playing. I think a Joe Gomez playing all the time is in England thoughts in it. Him and Tomori should probably be there. Maybe if I'm Liverpool, I don't let him go because he's a fantastic guy to have around for depth and that. But it could be worth it. Like for me, if I'm Gomez, I'm trying to holler Gerrard and see what Aston Villa's saying. You're nailed on to play. Obviously, such a step down from Liverpool, but you know, you can chat to Coutinho, can chat to Gerrard. You're nailed on to play. You know, no, you got bare jolt man defenders there. Callum Chambers, I'm doing him dirty, but Callum Chambers, I like him. Konza, I like him. Mings, 100% shit. Left foot tax. You're playing games there, really and truly. So it's a lot to think, man. You can't have workhorses, and that's where Klopp's developed year in, year out. Like they used to be heavy metal, then he understood I can still do that, but I need to manage games. Then he realized I need depth. Then he realized we've got depth, but you can't go from, you know, certain man to Minamino and that. Now, you know, you're seeing rumors for Darwin Núñez, Tuchemani, these sort of guys. They got Thiago in the mix, Fabinho in the mix. Henderson's not glamorous, but he's in the mix. Cater's finally found his feet. He's in the mix. You know, you've got a couple other young players there. Up front, there's Bear, man. And they're set to do that. Listen, Liverpool are doing their thing, man. Like, it's simple as that. Liverpool are doing what they're doing, innit? Like, it's the glorious times. If I was a Liverpool, I'm jealous, right? Well, how can you not be jealous? How can you not be jealous and seeing what they're doing, man? But it is what it is. That's enough about Liverpool. I mean, shout out to really, because as much as we could waffle about Thiago, I think he's the star of the show. I can't lie. I was getting PTSD from Ospina and them sort of keepers. It's like Klopp must have paid him. He must have said, remember when City didn't give you a chance? He must have paid him. My man's is coming like he's a boxer. Like maybe he wants to fight Fury. One last fight before retirement, Fury. He's just punching everything. Like unnecessary things he's just punching. And that would be one thing if I was a Liverpool fan or if I was Liverpool. I think they could have tested the keeper a bit more. Like for me, the way he was moving, I've seen better keepers get slapped at Liverpool. I think they could have slapped him. I think any shot on target was asking questions. And I think that's the only thing I'd say Liverpool need to do. But apart from that, bro, Thiago gets stuck in as well, man. But this is the thing: people are allowed their opinions. You're allowed to say Thiago might have not banged at Liverpool and stuff, but you just, you know, I just think people just like to masquerade their opinions as facts, as the only variables that are there, man. So yeah, it's crazy, really and truly. But yeah, man, there's not too much more to say on Liverpool, bro. 100% volleyball. Salah only got, pardon me, 1 goal, 1 assist yesterday. Nah, Salah was good. But yeah, man, you know, it's not Salah can take couple. Salah's got 20 league goals. He can take a couple games off. Other people are handling the mantelpiece. Like as an Arsenal fan, I know it's completely different, but Arsenal need to get to a scenario where there's different scorers, because 9 times out of 10, if Saka and Smith Rowe have not scored or they're not necessarily playing well, which was Liverpool at a time where Salah, that's correlated to our results. There's not too many times them two, and you could throw Martinelli into the mix and a couple of usual suspects. If they don't turn up for Arsenal, we don't get 3 points 9 times out of 10. So it is what it is where Liverpool's concerned, man. On that topic of Liverpool, though, people, let me see if I can find it. Apparently, there's new Champions League rules to come into play still. And to be honest, Liverpool would be in the final if this happened, because apparently, UEFA could scrap two-legged Champions League semi-finals for football festival. Oh, what that? UEFA, are reportedly planning to replace the traditional format with a Final Four tournament in one whole city, reminiscent of the conclusions of the Nations League competition. Now, bring Super League immediately. Bring the Super League immediately. Because these man, see, we all knew UEFA weren't vexed about Super League. It's just that there's a slice of the pie them and they are not going to eat from. I don't think Super League's done anyways, but this is Bandulu, man. Away goals was all to get rid of away goals is all we needed, man. This is dead. This is because first it's gonna this is how it starts. First it's gonna be in some random place. Then, respectfully to my American supporters and every other region, then the Champions League, the European games gonna be taken stateside or something else. This is where we're going. And likewise, there's gonna be a day in America. Maybe I don't know, I'm exaggerating, but the Super Bowl's not gonna be in one of them American states. We're getting into some mad places, but UEFA could reportedly scrap the traditional two-legged Champions League semi-finals with momentum building behind the proposed week of football instead. The current format, which sees the final four teams face off against each other home and away, has been in place since 1955, but could be changed as Europe's governing body plots radical changes to the tournament at the start of the 24-25 season. And I've said it before, I don't want to be a conspiracy theorist, but I think come November, football as we knew it is done, bro. And girls out there, football's done. Everything. I think you're gonna just see Nagusman's talking about Bluetooth headsets for defenders, this Super League business. Football isn't gonna make sense anymore. Football is gonna I genuinely think at the end of this season is the last normality we've seen. I think after that, every year it's gonna get brazier and brazier. And where we go, I don't know. I really think that with November's World Cup, I really do believe that football as we know, halftime shows to be fair, that out of all the things, I wouldn't mind that at all, man. I wouldn't mind that. It all depends on the entertainment. You cannot get amen, mate. Amen. But yeah, at the start of the 24-25 season, the updated Champions League format is set to be launched, which will likely include group matches from 6 to 10 with extra teams qualifying for the competition. The Times report that while the ECA, European Football Association, have yet to reach a decision, there is growing support for straight knockout matches from the semi-final stage. And I'm sure it would be easier for Klopp trying to plan a quadruple, knowing that he'd be in the final. Maybe for City as well, knowing that they can focus on the league. But I don't know, people. It's getting brazy. Charles, timeouts, bare things. Football didn't make sense, but it's definitely not gonna. It's gonna make less sense now, really. To be fair, football don't make sense. You look at someone like Lionel Messi, he shouldn't be the best in the world, in it, but he is or has been. So yeah, people, it's crazy, man. And the final taking place in one whole city, resembling a festival of football in one concentrated area. Oh, and then you're gonna be fighting for sponsors and all this BS, people. The report claims that while some figures at UEFA are reluctant to make such a huge change, the president has previously hinted he'd be open to the idea. And I mean, when you got the threat of a World Cup every 2 years, bruv, there'll be a year World Cups every year. I think World Cup every year, World Cup Euros, World Cup Euros, World Cup Euros, this BS, Bluetooth headsets, Bandulu things. I genuinely think managers are going to start going on loan. I genuinely believe managers are going to start going on loan. Someone like Mikel Arteta that will be earmarked for the Arsenal job, they might say, you know what, go here and then come true. I genuinely think football in the next 10 years is, I don't know where we're going in it, but we're going to be here still as long as Twitch and YouTube stay the same. So yeah, man, it is what it is. If you look at the Super Bowl, it's a great event and they do it in a great way. They have concerts and people go there and have fun. Even if you lose those two matches, you get more revenue to compensate. Bracy. It would be fantastic event for broadcasters, for sponsors. Not as damn thing said about the fans. In the same way, you could have the women's final of the Champions League or youth competitions. You could have a fantastic week of football. These knockout matches are different and more exciting. I'm not gonna lie. It's arousing my imagination. I'm not gonna lie. He's making it sound lit, like it's sounding kind of lit. I can't lie. So if you're not gonna do this, shout me. DG needs to be doing some punditry or something. Then I'll change my tune, innit? Just bring me into the elite world. Hey, fuck you, man. On Twitch, innit? I'm gone now. I'm playing. But yeah, man. That's them man's thing, innit? Renting managers, bro. Trust me, the Super League might be lit. I wouldn't be surprised with loaning managers, bro. Dons like Nagusman would have went on loan. Gaelic Galactic football, hey, probably. Can we start by loaning refs? Just bring in the robot refs now, man. Them refs are too incompetent, and referees the only position in this world where you're rewarded with more stuff for being mediocre. Really, you're literally not allowed to to accuse referees of being biased and things. They're like policemen. Everyone looks at policemen as these beacons of justice and things like that, when in reality they're fucking racist 9 times out of 10. They're prejudiced 9 times out of 10, and yeah, they're affected by everything. So our referees any different? They watch football. If I think Joe Bloggs is a diver and it's a legitimate penalty claim, I'm not going to give it. If I think Dave is an honest professional and he's dived but I reckon he's not, you get it. You know, if I think Xhaka's a bad guy, if I think Mane's a nice guy, I'm gonna thingy. And I'm not trying to get at any players. It's just why the man move like referees are not human and susceptible to error. Yeah, a ref might do a madness and get demoted every now and again. I can't lie, I wouldn't mind putting mics on. The only thing I'm for is players being able to talk more. I'd love football to be like NBA and NFL, but it can't happen, innit? That's an American thing, innit? Like Americans are and North Americans are very outspoken. You can kind of, there's prejudice, but you can kind of be yourself. Like I was watching, wish I could find it. I don't even know what I was watching. I can't remember, but there was this black guy. Some NFL don. They were talking to him. Man had the chain on. He had the bling on, like bling on, talking eye talks, not putting on, the corporate voice. I ain't used mine in time, but not putting on the corporate voice. Dons like Souness would have a heart attack. And I like the way in basketball you can send for man. Like I'm seeing other basketballers like, no, my man is shit. Like obviously I like humility, but he's like, my man shit, this is shit, that's shit. Footballers are treated like robots. They're not allowed to be honest, man. That's why we got the Beautiful Game podcast. When I see things like Eddie and Ketty, you get to see a man's personality. So it is what it is, man. Who would be in the Super League now? DG, Newcastle rising up. Right now, when the tax bracket is different, so they're probably involved now in it. But I'd probably say not right now. I would just like to see, because I genuinely think if managers, referees, players, if everybody spoke, man would get allowed a lot. Like people would still be pissed off with a ref, but if a ref gave if you get a robot ref, that's one thing. But if a ref said, I've made a mistake or I done this, man could be like, all right, you're an idiot, but all right, cool. It's when you don't hear anything. And I just feel in a day and age where we're never closer to footballers, like if let's just say, I don't know, DG signing for Arsenal, you man are going to find out about it before it hits Sky Sports. We're ever closer and this could be used for real good, but we're almost ever further away for a variety of things, man. Fuck the mic thing, man. But I hear you on that, though. I hate the idea of Bluetooth headsets. Footballers won't think, just robots. Morning, Duns. So, yeah, man, it'd be brazy. NFL officiating is levels. That game is way more evolved. Even the players have their own individual. Exactly, it's brazy. Just tired of seeing Mike Dean, Anthony Taylor, John Moss do a madness. Maybe they fix up if they knew they could be relegated to other countries for incompetence. But if they could be run out. I told you the most fucked thing I've ever seen on the football field, and unfortunately, I've seen, people get stabbed, people get rushed, hammers get taken to guys' heads, Mazas in it. The craziest thing I've ever seen at New River, these two Turkish teams were playing each other. I was playing five-a-side. Don't know what the ref did. In that Boondocks thing, he's like, what did he do to make them that mad? That's the first thing that went through my head. I'm seeing it. I was told this to him before. He's running like a Giselle. Like he's run. I know man was scared because he's running in circles. Both teams have stopped what they're doing to collapse him. Like he's running like a lion is ready to get him, and he's like a Giselle. And obviously, you can't run forever. There's like 20, 30 man on you. He got savaged, didn't it? Like it was peak. I can't lie. It made the papers. I showed you that before he got sacked. Like you just see him run. Someone fly kicks him. Next guy bangs him. He drops to the floor. I don't advocate guys getting hit up and violence and stuff, but this football thing is not a joke. It's crazy. Like finished. God, I hope he's all right and them things there, but he got savaged. DJ, remember the mic'd up ref who asked the linesman if it was a foul? They were both unsure, but still gave a penalty. See this sort of nonsense. Do you think VAR is ruining football? No, not in. It's how you. Man said UFO. How VAR is being deployed. Like, there's nothing wrong with VAR. It's just the people using it. Cause VAR is not no Essentially, that it's the same joke, man. Refs that Source is speaking about, well, they're just sitting next to a computer like me and saying that's a foul. That's not a foul. It's not a robot thing. So there's human error in it. So it's dead. It really is dead, really and truly. I don't think VAR's the problem. It's how it's being utilized. It's how man are doing this thing, really and truly. It's not making no sense. Like, you know, I look at Cedric against United. One day that's not going to be a penalty. The next day it is. There's bare bandulu things. Like, I don't think Anthony Gordon's one was a penalty against Liverpool. There's going to be on another day VAR says that is. So none of it makes sense, man. And again, it can't be but that's a robot, bro. Like, it's a computer system. I can't blame that. Like, I like it to be like Hawkeye in tennis and them things. There obviously it's a completely different game, but if you could do a thing like that, then things would be a lot different, really and truly. But unfortunately, the cookie don't crumble like that. So yeah, that's them new UEFA laws. Apparently, it's Manchester United versus Chelsea, Chelsea versus Man United. Apparently, Man United could be without beer players, people, beer players, which could be put them at a significant disadvantage. People, apparently, Sancho's not on it, Pogba's not on it, Fred's not on it. Maguire's not on it. Couple United people probably cheered. I actually think United might do a job against Chelsea today. You know, I'm not going to cap. I think they might do something. I think they actually might. I actually think United might just do something today. Why doesn't VAR look at offsides from Skycam? Bro, because again, it's these human donnies. Like, VAR don't make no sense. How many times have you, me, and everybody listening? They'll show us the first time we see an action. It's either a foul or not a foul. We see it again. And then the doubt starts to happen. I big up my guy, Bossy FM. Make sure you're following him. But as I was saying, then the doubt starts to happen. You know, you see it again. You see it twice. You're convinced. Then they start squiggling lines. Then they start moving angles. Then they start zooming in, zooming out, showing it, you know, 360 angles. You don't know what's going on, like, really and truly. And it's down to interpretation. And again, they do all these scribbly lines. On one day, they'll tell you these reasons. How many times have we seen the exact thing happen in two different games? And if you're watching it on BT, they get Peter Walton out. He does his rehearsed jargon, you know, and that's even another tool. When you know, a lot of people in life, you know, and it used to get me when you speak to, like, when you assume people like Peter Walton being referees and stuff, they're very knowledgeable, they've been in the game, which is true on one hand. In life, when people start hitting you with waffle, you're like, oh, they're smart in that. But then when you get older, you realize that sometimes waffle is used to hide insecurities and things like that. Like, if you can't explain something simple, then it's dead. You really think Pep is telling his players about all them fancy Twitter buzzwords and medial, central, lateral, and all that foolishness? That's why they get Peter Walton. It confuses people. People don't know what they're talking about. It confuses all of us. Like, we're just like, what's going on? Exactly. Refs love the limelight, man. Big up Clattenburg. He was getting agents and that. But from what it's worth, Maguire, Pogba, Shaw, Sancho, Fred to miss Chelsea game, but Cavani could return next week for United. Cavani's a footballer. But hey, he takes more time off than Mesut Ozil. I can't even cap. But anyways, Man United will be without Jadon Sancho, Maguire, Pogba, Shaw, Fred, Cavani for tomorrow's game against Chelsea, which is today. We're doing a watch along for that, people. That's going to be on Twitch and YouTube. Make sure you're there for that one, folks. Let me find the link for that. So yeah, obviously they're gassing it with. We all knew Pogba's out for the season allegedly. So I think they're just throwing his name there for dramatic effect, but. Fair enough, really. You know, that I actually think United still might do it without that, you know. I hope not, because in the grand scheme, in fact, well, it's one of them games you hope both teams can lose, in it. I don't want Chelsea to win. Obviously, if Chelsea win, it probably helps us a lot in the top four battle. A draw would be perfect. Obviously, I'd rather see Chelsea lose, in it, raw. Crystal Palace looking for Wan-Bissaka. Shit, they're going to rob you guys back. It's like if Pogba goes back to Juventus for free, and Wan-Bissaka goes back, they finesse gang. Come on. But anyways, those players except Sancho and Maguire missed the defeat against Arsenal. Those players except Sancho and Maguire missed the defeat against Arsenal. Those players except Sancho and Maguire missed the defeat against Arsenal at the weekend, where Manchester United were defeated 3-1, courtesy of the real savages. You know, if I remember correctly, Bruno Fernandes missed a penalty, got destroyed in the middle of the park there. You know, Ronaldo got 100 goal shot to Ronaldo, but goddamn, you know. They might be right. Arsenal are beating the teams they're supposed to beat this year. Fuck, you know. Sancho's picked up an illness. That man there. Maguire has picked up a knee injury. That man there capping. You just don't want to play. Pogba, Shaw, Fred have all been carrying problems. Ralph Rangnick did provide a positive update on Cavani. According to the team doctor, he'll be back in training on Friday. He's been out for quite a while. We have quite a few players missing tomorrow. Quite a few players with question marks. Aaron Wan-Bissaka can continue. Harry has an issue in the knee, not training yesterday or today. Paul, Luke Shaw, Sancho is ill. He has tonsillitis since yesterday. Couldn't train today. Not available tomorrow. Fred is not available. He tried to train yesterday, had a conversation, not fully fit. Doesn't make sense with a muscular injury to play him early and take the risk. Yeah, he said Wan-Bissaka could be in with the mix. As you know, Manchester United are 6th in the Premier League, 6 points behind 4th place Arsenal, Tottenham in 5th, and Arsenal both have a game in hand. And Arsenal both have a game in hand on Rangnick's side. Boy, shout out to Ten Hag. But yeah, you could say maybe these players have been missing all season. Josh Denzel, Mr. James Corden there, you know, Fred, bear shit man there. Anyways, away from that, keeping up the theme with Chelsea. Rudiger, Reece James back in training for Chelsea. Tuchel admits no one is happy to see Rudiger leaving. He said Covers will still be out. Bennis will still be out. Callum will still be out. Who's Callum? Who's that? That footballer? I know that ain't the one with Beat One Demon and that. Don't know why he's mentioning him, but fucking hell, all right. Yeah. Tony was training yesterday, the same for Reece James. We have another training coming. Hopefully they can do the full training and they can get the green light and be in the squad and train tomorrow. The same for Andreas. He needs another examination because he felt sick and he'll come back to train from today. And Ross, he's sick as well and he'll not be in the squad. He then went on to speak about Rudiger. I don't think that anybody likes it. Tony is a huge factor in our last 1.5 seasons together. He gives everyone confidence in the dressing room. He's an aggressive leader. He's available over 100% of the matches, 90% of the matches, plays at an outstanding level, and he gives you confidence. If you play next to him, if you play around him, he sometimes takes the focus towards him. So away from others, he takes responsibility, he loves responsibility. So I don't think anyone likes this decision. By the moment, not only at the moment, we have to accept it, and we will accept it. Like it or not, there will be life at Chelsea after Tony. And now the most important thing is that it ends like it started and like it was for the last 1.5 years, at the highest level possible. This is where the focus needs to be. Chelsea are 3rd, 7 points clear of 5th place Tottenham, and on course to qualify for next season's Champions League, people. So yeah, man, the Athletic in top form. It's keeping up the theme with Manchester United, people, as well as I've been saying. Crystal Palace considering summer loan move for Manchester United's Aaron Wan-Bissaka. And that, do you know what? I feel sorry for Wan-Bissaka because he's a boyhood Man United fan. I never like to see people's dream not bang, but at the end of the day, he hasn't improved. I do think there's a lot of players United could work with and get a tune out of, and I think Wan-Bissaka is one of them, but he'd be low on the list. It probably is better. You know, I do, obviously, Crystal Palace and United are two different things, and his problems are just highlighted even more. It's like, I know they used to say he would make out, they actually used to say he's the best in the league, but he's never been that solid defensively, really. He's actually quite shit defensively. People just get gassed off a slide tackle. If you're sliding more time, you've made a mistake. Positioning, he's quite poor. He's poor on the ball. He switches off. You know, he's just not the guy, really. Looks like he's lost a lot of confidence. He's just 50 million down the toilet, really. But anyways, at 24, he's still young. Crystal Palace did well because I wonder, do you know what? How many appearances did Wan-Bissaka actually make in a Crystal Palace shirt before they Bandulu United and took 50 million? Because I have to respect it. I cannot cap. I have to respect it. Pardon me, man's 25 this year, 20 contracted until 2024. You never know what could happen, but it's looking mad. Let me actually see. Why is it not coming up? He's just not good. Like, I like him a lot. I used to really fuck with him, but he just been just not developed, lad. Just not kicked on. 46 appearances. 46 appearances for Crystal Palace before being sold. Not bad, really. How many did you make in the Premier League? Show me the full statistics, man. What's all of this nonsense? I want to know how many times he's played in the Premier League. 42 times in the Premier League for Crystal Palace. He's played more times in the Prem for United, 89, and there's been no improvement. And as I said, if I was United, I'd rather work with some of their attacking players and things. Wan-Bissaka wouldn't be too high up there. But who knows? You go on loan, you might remind everyone what you're on, people. But yeah, man, he moved. The Crystal Palace are looking at bringing him on loan. It's worth noting that obviously Ten Hag needs to assess his squad, so it's not definitive what they will do. But his name is one under consideration as part of a summer upgrade at right back. Any move is likely to be on loan rather than a permanent switch. Nathan Ferguson, people probably say, who the hell is that? Hasn't done much since he's joined from West Brom. As you know, people, Mitchell's done well. You've got Klein and Ward there. But yeah, they're looking to bring in people that are 30 people. Speaking of fullbacks, it's over for Timo Livramento. Sorry, people, where is it? Well, I don't know where it is, but Livramento's injury is put out this season. Speaking of Liverpool, United's rivals, Liverpool and City have been given new dates for their respective matches against Southampton and Wolves, as you know, probably just for TV rights, really and truly. What else have we got? Ralph Rangnick said he's determined to help Man United change for the better in the new role, which, again, as you should want to do. We've already spoken on Rudiger. Man United, Aston Villa, Leeds United and Crystal Palace announced pre-season games in Australia. So if you're over them sides, go and look at that and get that involved. Mark Noble, Sly capping. He says to retire even if West Ham qualify for the Champions League. Yo, capping. Tammy Abraham said Kevin De Bruyne, Salah and Lukaku helped inspire him to leave Chelsea. Now, I've read this already, people. But he said some interesting things. In fact, where is the full interview? He had an interview with Alan Shearer and he touched on his Arsenal move. But on that, he said, I've seen the likes of De Bruyne, Salah and Lukaku leave Chelsea and spread their wings. They're the best players in the world. For me, it's about doing the same thing, even if it's not the Premier League. It's about going out and learning a different culture and experiencing different things. It's about saying, you know what, this is my time. He also spoke to Gareth Southgate as well. But the full thing was he actually was speaking to Alan Shearer, which must be lit. Big up Saka for all of that, but I find all that bullshit quite cringy, man. Like, we missed the penalty. Love to see all the fans uniting, but life goes on, man. Like, I ain't trying to read no article about that. Big up the Premier League and kick it out. They've launched a plan to address underrepresentation of South Asian players, which, yeah, is a mad thing. And it's nice to see. Where is this Tammy Abraham thing? You lot are making me look dumb, man. We're going to find that, people. I'm not going out like this. We're not doing nothing until we find this. I'm not going out like this. Don't do me like this. Okay. We're back soon. That we're back. Here's the actual article. Obviously, I ain't reading all of this. Ain't no one care about none of this. But yeah, big him up. There is some interesting things around it, man. Like he was speaking, the things I found most interesting. He was speaking about his disappointment of not being in the Champions League squad, but little segments like this, I always find it interesting, man. He said, "It's funny you say that. My dad was saying those exact words. Of course, it's difficult when you've grown up at a club and you've fallen out of favor. It's never nice. But I've come here and it's been like a dream come true. I'm no more that academy player. They've made me into a star. They look at you differently. That's what I needed. I needed that self-confidence again, self-belief, again, that confidence to be able to think, you know what, I can make noise here. Since I've set foot in this place, they've made me feel like this is my home straight away, even from the welcome at the airport. My signing wasn't announced properly until I was here, so I don't know who spread the word. It was unbelievable to see so many people there to welcome me. Very exciting. When I score, wow, the passion. They talk about football everywhere you go. They're diehard fans. I'd love to ask Chris Smalling, you and Ainsley Maitland-Niles about the Resimo there, though. Don't get it twisted. The football's lit. The way of life's probably lit. The food's lit. Jose Mourinho and that, but yeah, by Tomori as well. And this is the things I found interesting. He said, I was the joint highest scorer in the FA Cup. And to be told I wasn't in the squad, this is for the Champions League final, you can only imagine how I felt. It wasn't a nice feeling, but I was there to support the boys. I'll always do that. Good times and bad times. And the say with the Champions League, I just wanted my team to do well and win it. And yeah, man, half of them Cobham players didn't even play a key part in it. Shout out to Mount and Reece James and that. But yeah, it's a team thing. He spoke about him being at a low point, people. He said, I'll admit it was a very low point in my career. It did mess with me mentally for a bit. It got to a point towards the back end of the season where I was dropping. I was annoyed because I was working hard in training and I wasn't getting the chances. I was doing the best I could, getting in early, finishing late, training drills, finishing drills, and still wasn't getting a look in. And football's a funny old game of opinion. Sometimes you're doing wrong things. Sometimes you're doing all the right things. Sometimes the manager just doesn't rate you. Sometimes he rates you. He just doesn't see you like that. It's a funny game of opinions. This is why I always say, do what Tammy's done or do what other people have done. Don't let clubs gas you. You know, if Livermento let Chelsea gas him, he might not be where he is now. Lamptey the same, and etc. etc. Do what you need to do. I know it's difficult when you've been at a club for time, but I'd say once you get to 16, and I would say cut off point 18, you've got to be ruthless and just make the best decisions without emotion, really. Yeah, he said, and even stuff like this, he said Tuchel even tell him why he's not involved. He said, and to be fair to Tuchel, bro, man got bare things to try to be patterning other than does Tammy feel wanted or not, because it is what it is, people. What I would say, hindsight's a wonderful thing, because for Chelsea, hella contract issues around centre-halves. Maybe Mark Gurr, he could have stayed or something like that. You know, hindsight's a wonderful thing. And I know Lukaku was lying and saying, "Oh, I'm such a better player than when I was last in England." And you know, Chelsea needed a striker, but 90 million on Lukaku. Tammy there is a bit of a sideways move. There was no point really doing any of that, people. So yeah, people, he said, being involved with Chelsea, you hear rumors about this or that player coming in, but for me, it was kind of a signal, a sign to say, go out and explore the world. We all know how great he was at Inter Milan and what kind of player he is. You know, I've been there. I've had experiences of not playing at Chelsea and how difficult that can be when people expect so much of you. And as you know, all strikers have these moments in their careers. It's about how you deal with it and overcome it. I was there since I was a young boy, and all I knew was London. All I knew was Chelsea, apart from my loans. But there's a time in your career where you have to do what's best for you. I had to go out and make a name for myself. From the first day I sat foot here, that was my goal. I've seen the likes of Kevin De Bruyne, Mo Salah, and Lukaku leave Chelsea and spread their wings. They're the best players in the world. Ooh, I don't know about Lukaku, but they're the best players in the world for me. It's about doing the same thing. And even if it's not the Premier League, it's about going out and learning a different culture and experiencing different things. It's about saying, you know what, this is my time. I wanted to be in the Premier League. I felt like I had a point to prove again, and I wanted to do well, to go away in England and prove Chelsea wrong about not playing me. And as a young lad, I'm trying to move countries is never easy, especially to a league I wasn't familiar with. He spoke on having other opportunities. He said, yeah, I had a few. The Arsenal one got out, and there were other clubs as well, but it's never black and white. And just speaking to Mourinho and Roma and the sporting director, they had ambition and an aim. They wanted the club to reach certain targets. They hadn't won a trophy for a while. They hadn't done as well in the league as they would have wanted. It's about seeing a vision. How can I put it? It's just like what Newcastle are doing, building again. I could see where Mourinho wanted me to be, and he believed in me. This was the best place for me. Thank God I've done it. Crazy, man. What has he said here? Oh, sorry, this is all big up Alan Shearer, but ain't no one care about this right now, man. So yeah, man, he went on to say all of this stuff. He's talking. I can't lie, I don't really care about none of this. He's talking about Jose and that. I mean, he spoke about Tomori being his oldest friend in football. I mean, if you're into that, go and read it on the Athletic. But that's that where Tammy's concerned, people. Bit of an overkill, in it. But still, nonetheless, Tammy speaks on Arsenal interest, which technically he did. So yeah, man, it is where that's concerned. What else have you lot saying? This is the same team that sourced Madrid off the pitch in Spain. Peter Walton is a joker. He never goes against a Buki ref decision because there's the old boys club, man. They're never gonna get on each other's backs, man. Pause. Cavani, personal time dried up. I'll take a draw. MBE started tonight. Rashi. NBA young boy will never not be funny. Trust me. Time to play my guy Hannibal. Their man there saying he's messed because he fouled someone. No, I'm joking. He's lit still. I want Ranić to start calling these man shit. I mean, he more or less does. Like, Ranić is so brutally honest to the point where you're probably thinking, chill out a bit. Like, he's so, like, these men are bad. We need 10 players, this and that. Like, to be fair, Klein's holding it up, though. He had to big up Lukaku. This new bridge ownership situation taking forever. Something ain't right. How's Lewis Hamilton bidding? He's Arsenal. I mean, money, salary first, conscience later. I mean, if I had the peas and I could invest in Chelsea, Arsenal fan or not, I'm gonna do the same, man. If I make some cash, right decision for him. Players have to take these risks to prosper, or else you'll end up like Reece. Ryan Nelson did not deserve that straight, man. He's probably watching this game with some cornflakes. He did not deserve that at all from you, mate. Better from that. Better from you, lad. Don't forget, people, 10 past 7. It's Chelsea versus Man United. Man United, Chelsea. We're doing a watch along for that. And also at 11:30, people, we have to bring our YouTube cousins in because we will be going live. Should we see what else is going on in the world of football as well, folks? Let's go on some of these websites. Apparently, Chelsea's summer transfers being hampered by takeover uncertainty. Tuchel has said their hands are tied. We've known this. He said, now our hands are tied. We can still have talks inside the building, but we cannot act. The situation is not ideal. This is the situation. It would be challenging enough with a stable situation. We don't have that. So everybody is doing it. At least I know for the first time. And apparently this week we'll see who actually wins the bidding process at Chelsea. We tried to show our commitment, our passion for it. And this may be, for me, is very important to give this message. I'm committed. I'm looking forward to it. And I'm passionate about it. And as soon as we can act, we'll try to act and turn things around and make it from a disadvantage, maybe an advantage. However, I don't have the solution right now, but we'll try to stay positive about it. Crazy. He said, this might happen. There's also financial fair play, and these things exist on top of it. I also think it's not possible that a new owner comes in and hands over and says, here, go wild. Here's 250 million. Go and spend it. Chelsea fans won't be happy with that. There are also other rules in place. I don't want to write it off right now because it isn't made. It's too early. There's still faith in the people who take care of it from our side, and still faith in that everybody is on it, and we'll finish it as high as possible, and we'll try to be prepared behind the scenes so that if we get the green light to act, we are ready and share our views on the team. At the moment, it's very difficult to predict what is going to happen. And you've also got Europa League football as well today, people, and conference, if I'm correct as well. In Europa League, West Ham against Frankfurt, you've got RB Leipzig against Rangers, people. And, you know, if West Ham win the Europa League, they're all set for it. I mean, Frankfurt will want to put a spoiler in the works. I think Conference League sees a pair of Arsenal loanees play each other. You've got, I'm sure, Marseille against Feyenoord. You do. 8 p.m. you have Feyenoord Marseille. Feyenoord are at home in the first leg. You've obviously got Leicester versus Roma, where allegedly Arsenal are sending scouts to watch Tammy Abraham, which, yeah, man, we're gonna have to see what that one there is about, innit, really and truly. So that's that. In case I didn't mention that. What else is going on in the world of football? Haller on Bayern Munich list to replace Lewandowski, and apparently United want him. I personally think if it's not that Timber brother or Anthony, I don't think United will buy anyone from Ajax personally. Maybe there's a young tug about and whatnot, but yeah, I don't doubt it. Pardon me, it don't seem like there's much on goal.com. What is Sky Sports saying? Doesn't feel like there's any worthy talking points, people. Klopp said it's far from done. Obviously, he's gonna say that. He's not gonna come out and say, yeah, man, Villarreal are not gonna get back in the game. And it'll be a killer. Apparently, Arsenal have released a striker. Arsenal women forward Toby Heath has been released early from her contract by mutual consent after a hamstring. Didn't she just join? Yeah, she joined in a free transfer in September 2021 and had left Man United earlier last summer. Yeah, that's that, man. That time's done, innit? It's finished. Finito. DG thinks we'll do something, means we'll lose 3-0. Oh, don't get I win either way. Chelsea lose, United lose. I get to come here tomorrow and run bands. I don't mind this. It's the battle of the Arteta victims derbies, man. We slapped it at Chelsea, we slapped at United. You man patting off each other, innit? I don't know about it. I ain't watching that game gonna be boring. I do it for the love, man. I do it for the love with you lot, man. Be here. DG, you hear about 10k Frankfurt fans coming to the London Stadium. Boy, you saw them regulate respectfully. If they can regulate the new camp and make it look like it's their home pitch, then that stadium over there in Stratford is long. It's long for them. Long. So yeah, it is what it is, man. On that note, I don't want to waste you lot's time, people. So, and I'd rather go and get some toast as well. So, Yeah, man, it is the Victims Derby still. So on that note, I'm gonna be back at 11:30, people, which is in 28 minutes, people. I know we're gonna be watching this, well, the next stream on YouTube as well as Twitch, but can you please hit the YouTube like button and don't forget across YouTube and Twitch to set your reminders 10 past 7, 7:10 p.m. It's watch along business. So on that note, we've talked about the Champions League. We've discussed some current headlines. We've found ourselves waffling about referees and where the future of football's going. I appreciate all the support you guys give me, and the content's not stopping, people. We've got 2 other live streams. So yeah, I'll catch you lot in a bit.
Always just that active and defending.
I think it's like